One thing that fascinates me is the concept of a forest. Our forest is only as strong as the individual trees, and the individual trees are only as strong as the care and nutrients its seed gets. Even when a tree dies, its energies and health is recycled within the forest, making its surroundings even stronger. Now, if we replace that forest with the community and trees with humans, you can see the link. An ecosystem is exactly like a community of living organisms exchanging skills and traits to aid its overall society. Everyone is a valuable player, just like in its own community. Let's start with the apple seed. When this seed grows, it becomes a tree. It also becomes a shade, a home, a source of oxygen, and protection from harsh weather conditions. Now it grows flowers on it and reproduces with some other tree. A bee goes flower to collect nectar, and while doing that, it picks up pollen. The pollen is transported to another flower so it can be fertilized. It then becomes a fruit which is attracted to an animal like a horse. The horse eats that fruit with the seed and then runs around and leaves body waste somewhere else. This spreads the apple seed to a different location. The feces is then decomposed by bacteria and other microorganisms to its basic elements. This is then recycled into the soil, making it richer with nutrients and elements, exactly what the seed needed in the first place. But a seed also needs water. Worms and ants aid with the stirring of the soil. They create holes and soften the soil so the water can penetrate and reach the seed's roots. Ever wondered why worms always come up when it rains? Because these holes are filled with water and the worms are pushed out of the soil. Rain is important because it helps worms spread farther away to new soil that needs holes and stirring. It's all about having the right balance. A forest is able to sustain itself because every organism fulfills two roles, one being for themselves and the other being for Earth. Just like a healthy community, we need to function in moderation, having the right amount of doctors, technicians, cashiers, food, space, but also making sure that every one of us is doing their part in maintaining Earth. It's almost like animals know this and we don't. This concept of small process is also seen in ourselves. There are like miniature systems and powerhouses that perform functions to sustain themselves and ultimately their host. However, not all cells are good. For example, we have cancer cells that harm other cells by spreading and multiplying uncontrollably. The harmful effects of cancer is essentially overpopulation. Overpopulation of animals or insects always leads to damaged ecosystems. It's caused when the system is out of balance. Currently, cancer cells reflect the behavior of humans, an organism that spreads uncontrollably to neighboring land and destroys it. It's like major cities are tumors for Earth. Humans are gifted with immense intellectual power, and it's our responsibility to protect Earth. Just like how bee promotes pollination, we need to do our part and sustain Earth, which is ultimately benefiting ourselves. So ask yourself, have your actions reflected those of a community member or of that of a cancer cell? Are you littering or making sure that you do your best to recycle? Is there someone else in your community or your ecosystem that you may have not treated fairly? Every organism on Earth has a part to play in the survival and function of our host. No matter how small, like an ant, or how big, like a horse, its niche is very important. We all need each other and we all need balance. And it's our niche as humans to use our talents and take care of Earth.